My memories of what were those ideas are a bit hazy, but I remember being quite influenced by Childhood's End and thinking, oh, that's a good idea, which is now, I mean, in the end they used it for Independence Day, didn't they? The idea of this huge spaceship containing a whole race of people who now have decided to take over Earth and live with us, you know, nicely. But so that was an idea I wanted to work into a story, and I also wanted to work in a story again, the sort of the Incas or whatever. I wanted to go to the Brazilian jungles or somewhere South American jungles. And funnily enough, I concocted a story that sort of almost had both those elements in, which wasn't sort of accepted. And I'd been batting on for ages to Bob. He was a bit bored with it, really, and nobody got it, probably rightly, I don't know. But I just had this idea of, could we do another Dalek? You know, could we come up with something that had all that sort of mystery and sort of sinister quality that the Daleks have? And I cooked up this idea of a sort of giant chess piece rolling on skates or something, you know, and but it was a sort of very smooth, sort of monolithic kind of a thing. And nobody bought that, you know. I kept trying to flog that idea to Roger Murray-Leach and Bob Holmes and everybody. Nobody quite got it, but that was something I was pushing away at. I do remember feeling that with Tom, that we'd hit a good vein in a way with Talons of Weng-Chiang, and that we could move the show into the sort of what I would call the Rider Haggard territory, you know, the sort of colonial adventures and the buccanesque sort of narratives. I sort of felt, this is an area that we can move into. And I think, you know, we were onto something, or I was onto something, or Bob and I were onto something, because, you know, lo and behold, not long afterwards, you had Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, Indiana Jones. So I was toying with the idea of doing some stories along those lines, without actually having a storyline as such. And then one day Graham Williams came into my office and said, all right, I'm the new producer, and you're going to do this show called Target. I knew nothing about it at all. So that was a surprise. Yeah, I was a bit miffed about the way I learnt it. Thing is, Graham Williams was very palsy with Bill Slater, who was the head of series, and so I think there was a sort of personal connection there. And so I think the on-off thing, I think it was to do with personal things. I don't think it was anything to do with the powers that be at the BBC scratching their heads and wondering whether they should let Hinchcliffe carry on or not. Now, whether that conversation was going on between Bill Slater and the powers that be, I don't know.